everybody, welcome to today's writing vlog where my bulldog snorts a lot. So you know how I usually think of myself as like a bad bitch? Well, I was outside filming footage for the intro of this vlog. There was a bunny out there. I used to have a fear of rabbits when I was a kid, but I thought it was kind of me just trying to be like a quirky child, but no.
Hello? Could you please open the sliding door? I'm out here getting footage, but I saw a big ass rabbit and it scared the shit out of me. Oh my god, it's right.
But anyway, I wanted to update you on, how writing is going. Would I recommend writing at the moment? Basically, since the last writing vlog, a few things have changed, and let's talk about them. Winston really wants to be in the vlog. So the question is, how is writing going? Writing is going interestingly. So the last time I vlogged for you, I was working on my contemporary fantasy adult novel, Seventh Virtue, but in this vlog, I'm going to be focused on Feeding Habits, a novel that I have been working on for over a year. Let's get into the story of Feeding Habits. So you've probably already heard me tell this story. When I came home from university last year in April of 2020 because of the pandemic, I didn't really have anything to do. I was finishing up some online classes, but I couldn't work because of the pandemic, so all I really had to do was writing. I was also struggling with that very thing because of a whole abundance of things such as life and of course struggling with writing, writer's block, stuff like that. I came to a point in my life where I needed something that would cheer me up, and I wanted to write a novel. And at the time I was trying to write a book called The Sun Only Drowns Us. I am no longer really working on that book because I think I freaked myself out too much about it. So I was working on that first chapter, but I was psyching myself out so much that I couldn't continue it. So in an effort to procrastinate writing that book, I decided to create a sequel to this spin-off to Fostered called Mothwork, which you already know about because I have an all about my novel on it. It is split into 2 points of view. Right now how it works is Lonan gets the first 5 chapters, which is about 23,000 words. Then Harrison gets chapters 6 to 9, which is about 24,000 words, and then we're ending on Lonan's point of view. Mothwork was the opposite. Harrison started first, then Lonan in the middle, and then Harrison on the end. So it was kind of like inverse sandwich. Inverse Lonan and Harrison point of view sandwich. Not gonna lie, it has been the worst thing I have ever done. I did not think it was possible for me to dislike something so much about writing, but still write it anyway. But here we are. I got really busy with school. I didn't write Feeding Habits at all when I was in my second semester of my second year. I couldn't do it. Right after the semester ended, right before one of my final exams, I started writing Feeding Habits again. I had a 3,000 word few days. It maybe took me about 3 or 4 days. After that, I started writing Seventh Virtue, and since then I've been on a huge break. What has changed? Well, it's a little thing that that I love called Hannibal. If you didn't know, Hannibal got taken off of Netflix, which was terrible for me. To be honest, I wasn't planning on resuming my work on Feeding Habits for a very long time. I actually got worried for a while there that I was never going to finish the book because Seventh Virtue took all of my attention. I was having a lot more fun writing Seventh Virtue, and so I was nervous that I would actually shelve Feeding Habits. I found out that Hannibal was going to be taken off of Netflix, and I was like, okay, I just want to watch some of this before it goes. That night, I think I reread the last thing I'd written of Feeding Habits, and I realized that I was in this situation with Feeding Habits where I was being really cruel to myself. And I already knew that I was being really cruel to myself writing Feeding Habits. At this moment, I definitely noticed it more so than other time, because when I reread that work, which I had written probably about a month or 2 before, I felt very emotional because I was like, this is really good. So I don't know why you're getting so upset over the fact that it's not good. More and more, as I was thinking about how much I missed the show, I started thinking more and more about how I missed Feeding Habits, and kind of simultaneously Seventh Virtue had stilted. I had gotten into this really anxious space where I stopped drafting it, and I was having kind of a hard time with that book. I am hoping to actually finish Feeding Habits in the next week or 2. I actually do feel a strong urge to finish it, put it away, scrape away those feelings, and start clean with Seventh Virtue. Because I think with Feeding Habits still in my mind, it's really hard to move on from the disillusionment that I've kind of self-imposed. And I would really like to kind of let this project go, let it sit, and then maybe a few weeks from then I'll go and do a big edit on it. So the chapter that I'm writing right now is structurally bizarre. It's actually a clarity problems galore kind of chapter, but I'm really like pulling into that. Where did the third person narrator go? She like was absorbed. She mitosised to like vacation in Hawaii or something. Hey everybody, so it's been a few hours and I have done very little writing. I think I've written one sentence. I'm literally eating like a child. I'm eating these. I also have tea. Like I said, I haven't written. It is because I have mental illness. Yeah, my anxiety is acting up. Right now, writing has just not been fun. Like at all. Feeling very anxious about it. I don't know why. Alright everyone, so highly successful writing sprint. I wrote 672 words in 20 minutes, which is incredibly fast. And I've also finally added some more like clear materials about what's been going on because it's been pretty vague. Writing in Lonan's head had literally been writing prose poetry. I'm happy to have finally written something that was more set in stone. What you see me working on right now is a oil painting because a lot of you wanted to see more of me doing art. Technically, I'm not really doing much here. I really didn't add that much to this painting. It's a Hannibal painting. Why wouldn't it be at this point? The heart I did a while ago, and so I'm just working on Hannibal's face. Anyway, enjoy this relaxing oil painting. Hello everybody, so before I got into writing for the day, I really wanted to share something super exciting that arrived in the mail. My copy of Lizelle Sambury's book, Blood Like Magic, arrived in the mail yesterday. I said, I just want to read the first page before I start writing today. You know, I'm really excited about this. No. I sat down and I read the whole first chapter. It was so enthralling. If you don't know, Lizelle has a YouTube channel where she also makes authortube content. I obviously am writing like kind of contemporary fantasy right now, and so this is like the perfect read, I think, to play along with me writing Seventh Virtue. Can you see? Look, the illustration is on this. This is a beautiful book. Okay, but let's chat writing because writing, you know. I am on a quest to finish my novel Feeding Habits in the next week or two. It is giving me a headache, as it always does, though it's less of a headache. So the goal is to write every day for as long as I can to try to finish the book off. I'm not really concerned about how much I write every day. Literally, if I only write a sentence, I don't care. I just want to write a little something every day to contribute to the end of this book. Yesterday, I said I would write one sentence. I ended up writing 200 words, which was pretty good. The day before that, in the sprint, like I said, I had written almost 700 words in the sprint, so not too bad, like 900 words over the last 2 days. I am pretty happy with that. The book is in a bit of a tricky place because I am not gonna lie, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Both of my boys are in really weird places mentally, and they are not in a position to assist each other in any way, to comfort each other in any way. But the way that it's written kind of makes it impossible for them to not do that, and I really don't want to forget about their individual struggles just so that one can assist the other. Their stories are very separate right now, and kind of combining them is making it pretty hard. Like, obviously I always knew they would meet back up in Feeding Habits, but I didn't know how hard it was going to be to do that and to do it effectively. Well, I don't want to fail one character by writing another one. Hello everybody, so it has been a while since I last updated this video, and that is because a lot has happened in my life. I actually got my COVID vaccine, my second shot. It knocked me out. I've just come outside to do a little bit of writing. It's really beautiful. It's looking a little overcast, but the sun is going down, and because of that, it's looking really pretty. Hi everyone, so it's been even longer since I last updated you. Honestly, life got in the way. The last time I did write was in the evening. I was also outside and I was kind of just talking my way through it, and I ended up writing I think over 1,000 words that evening. You know when things like aren't working out at all in fiction for a long time, and then out of nowhere they just start working? But that's just what happened. Like, for months, Feeding Habits has not been working, and then all of a sudden it starts working, which was kind of annoying. I'm writing a new chapter in Harrison's point of view, which is the first time that I've like really ever gone back and done stuff for this book. And so I'm writing kind of like a more fun chapter with him and Lonan. They take a road trip, and so they're going multiple different places on this road trip. That's what Harrison's point of view is really missing, and you need it because of how intense the emotions get toward the end of his part. Hi everyone, so it's the next day. Sorry if you can't really hear me. There are children screaming. Yesterday I did write quite a bit. It was probably around 1,000 words. I wrote a whole new scene with actually a character that I introduced in Mothwork about 2 years ago, but I'm kind of trying to like piece together all of the stuff that I never actually mentioned or really delved into in Harrison's point of view. Harrison's point of view was a lot more complicated than Lonan's in feeding habits, which is why it was so difficult to write and it took me so long to write it. It's because Lonan's point of view is really simple. He's lived a very stagnant, simple life for the last year with his girlfriend Eliza in her apartment. He hasn't met anyone. Nothing has really changed for him since we saw him in Mothwork, so it was really easy to write. Harrison, on the other hand, moved across the country, had a mental breakdown. His best friend came to live with him and then moved away. There's just a lot that was left untoured in this book, particularly in Harrison's point of view. But today is actually not going to be a feeding habits day. Honestly, writing the book doesn't bring me that much joy, and I have thankfully come to a point in my cycle. I like to say I always cycle through this, like, and these decisions, but right now I'm at the point where I don't really want to be writing the book if I'm not enjoying it. I'm actually going to be revising a few short stories today. Not the ones that I, should revise, but the ones that have sat on my hard drive for about a year that I just haven't had time to look over again. So it's 2 stories. I've just been frustrated with short fiction because I have so much of it. It's all unedited, so I can't send it anywhere, which is really annoying. Hello everybody. So it is the next day and an update on what I did yesterday. I did literally nothing. I just finished watching Kate Kavanaugh posted a fantastic video on quitting that I recommend everybody watch. I will link it, and it was kind of funny because yesterday I just completely quit on what I was doing. I couldn't do it. I reread one of the stories. I reread Phantom Limbs, and I just realized that story is just beyond me. If you didn't know, I have a whole vlog about me writing this story. It took me a year to draft because it was just such a pain in the ass, like, kind of story to draft. It was one of my first attempts at writing short fiction, and I really didn't understand how to write short fiction at the time. I really was approaching it from so many incorrect angles. I have a feeling there's just too much going on in the story that I just need to cut out everything that doesn't matter and only focus on what does. I quit. I cannot revise that story on my own at all. Right before I went to bed, I submitted a short story to a magazine, which was nice. It's called What Leaves Her. It's a really short story, but I really love it. I think it's one of my best pieces, honestly. Hi everyone, so it's been a few days since I last updated on this video. I wanted to film an outro for this vlog because it's very long and we gotta go. Mentally, I have not been there enough to exert so much energy on writing. A lot of my hobbies revolve around my brain, and because of that, I get really burnt out really fast because y'all already know I work on a lot of stuff at a lot of times, but it causes a lot of overexertion for me, and especially writing takes so much energy, and I'm still incredibly burnt out from the semester even though it has been months since it finished. This week was a really difficult week for me. I was reminded that I'm gonna work on what I want to when I want to. Something exciting happened, I should mention it. I was shortlisted for the Malahat Review's Far Horizons Award for Short Fiction, which I can't even begin to tell you, did not think was gonna happen. Got shortlisted out of like 200 stories or something, they said. That's gonna be the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching and for being here. I'm sending you all my heart, all my love, and I will see you guys in another video. Bye-bye.